Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening once again. This is Dana Scranton, and welcome to 8 Minute Wisdom. In today's episode, episode 5 in our series on your perpetual assets, we're going to talk about attitude. Now, attitude is one of those words, kind of like mindset, that tends to get a lot of play in the personal development space. And sometimes it's used to describe negative attributes of an individual. For example, that guy cops an attitude. Well, I've always wondered, what if the attitude is good? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today. What is attitude and why do you own it? And what is the value to you? Well, like the other assets that we've talked about in this series, attitude is a perpetual asset that you own. And it's a byproduct of the mind. Now you can go back and view the prior four um, episodes and get an idea what I'm talking about here. But attitude is kind of like a box of crayons. We've got several colors depicted in this graphic, and this individual is standing right up there at the pinnacle, looking into the future and all of the possibilities that are available. Attitude is the gateway to possibility. Now, why do I say that? When you have a positive attitude versus a negative attitude, you will tend to see possibilities that are positive, affirmative, even realistic. But when you have a negative attitude, you tend to confine yourself to the negative plane, which is everything that is wrong with trying to go forward. A negative attitude is, generally speaking, an anchor that holds you in place and will even get you blown backwards in the winds of life. Attitude is a function of your values, your beliefs, your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. Attitude is a mental state that comes about through the experiences that you create in your mind, which can come from physical experiences that you create through your choices and your decisions. So attitude is something that you control. And like the prior assets that we've talked about, you own it and you control it. Now, we can all find ourselves copying an attitude when something goes against what we value or believe, or something is said or done to us that causes us to relive something undesirable to us at any level. Then we might respond in indignation or anger or sarcasm, right? Attitude is your opportunity to place yourself on a trajectory, on a course to avail yourself to the possibilities that exist in the future. Now, from the high energy physics side of things, the mathematical side of things, the quantum side of things, when you combine the idea of possibilities, you are infinite. There's a mathematical concept out there called the Dirac delta function. Basically, what that means is possibilities are infinite, but they only manifest to reality when it's right in front of you. Now, what do I mean by that? When your attitude is conducive to the very thing that you desire, the purpose and the vision you have for your life, then the possibilities appear before you. The probability of those possibilities manifests to 1. When something has a probability of 1, it means it is certain to happen. Conversely, if the probability is 0, probably isn't going to happen. In fact, not going to happen. Your attitude is what creates possibilities that trend to 1 of a probability. Let me repeat that. Your attitude is a driving force that creates high probability of the possibilities manifesting in your life. That's as simple as it gets. You don't need to go into this complex Dirac delta function. I'm just telling you, you can go look that up if you want. Dirac delta, delta function. It's a heady concept, but it's one of those things that's real. When I first came across that mathematical function, I broke it down to the simple realization that what that's saying is the energy that you put into achieving what you desire brings the probability of attaining that thing closer and closer to one. In other words, happening. So control your attitude. Don't let it suck you in, push you back, and anchor you in a place that you don't want to be. Recognize that your attitude is very oftentimes the external manifestation of what's going on inside of you. And if it's external, that means other people see it. You want to influence the world in a positive way. Look, we all have our moments, right? But be aware that you have control of that. There was a study done, I don't know, probably 40, 50 years ago, where they determined that the average human being has about a quarter of a second from the time an impulse strikes them mentally, emotionally, to when they respond to it. Quarter of a second is not very long, unless you have trained yourself to respond to any input with some physical action. For example, pursing your lips, or just crossing your arms, or taking a deep breath. Probably the best, because that doesn't necessarily look like you're angry or disappointed. Train yourself to respond in a neutral physical state, regardless of what hits you. Mentally, verbally, emotionally. Physically, it's a little bit harder, but be mindful that when you control your attitude, you control the direction of your life. Now, you'll hear out there in the positive personal development space, your attitude equals your altitude. What does that mean? It's the same thing as what I've been talking about. Your attitude is a predictor of how far you will go towards your goal, your objectives, your desires, your dreams. It's that simple. You own your attitude. Control it, use it, and you will find yourself more rapidly achieving that which you desire. Well, that's today's episode. I hope you found it beneficial. It's part of the series on your perpetual assets, the things you own, the things you control, the things you can grow through intelligent investment of who you are and all the things that that means. So we'll see you out there on that infinite frontier of possibilities with probabilities trending towards one. Take care, and we'll see you in the next episode.